trustless and transparent system instead of having like one single authority that decides for you. So without transparency, blockchain doesn't make sense. Well, there are some like extreme examples like private blockchains and so on, but those are not really general purpose. So this is like the concept is clear, and then there is like practical part. So in reality, why data matters for the projects? It matters. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So it matters because of numbers. You don't have numbers, you don't have users. So for your protocols, for your dApps, people want to come to a project, they want to see the numbers, they want to see your TVLs, they want to see your APIs, they want to see return on investment, everything. They want to see numbers and they want to know how much can they make here. And this is not that simple. Like when we talk about data and about all these values, they are not really like, it's not a static variable, and you cannot just at any random point just grab this data. You have to continuously aggregate it, and well, you have to be precise. And then like the second part is basically off-chain UX. So let's say, like in many cases, your on-chain activity causes changes and after effects in off-chain application, starting like from very trivial use cases, just to show users that their deposit, withdrawal, staking, whatever, it was successful. Or let's say you're an NFT game, and once you obtain some NFT, you have to, for user, you have to unlock a new skin or new area or a new item. And what is probably most important, it has to be quick. Users, they cannot wait for 20 minutes before you get information from blockchain. And so, yeah, here we come to problems, to obstacles that you have with blockchain data. So, and then I have 3 points here. So it's infrastructure and reliability, scalability, and data interpretation. And let's start with the first one. So let's say your project runs on Ethereum, but and you have to know, like you have to know when your transaction happened, when the events happen within the smart contract, and for smooth experience, you have to know it fast, and you have to be sure it's reliable. So it's meaning you cannot just set up a node, because nodes are pain in the ass. They tend to fall behind, they lose peers all the time, they randomly crash like while importing blocks, all this stuff, all the nasty stuff. If it can happen, if it can break, it will break. And this will result in data loss, and this will result in poor user experience and a lot of additional manual work. And then there is scalability aspect. So it's basically you take all the problems that you have with infrastructure, and then you just multiply it by the number of blockchains you are deploying to. And well, actually, the complexity is quite different for every blockchain, because even if we talk about EVM compatible blockchains, it's very different. So it's easy to run Ethereum node, it's not that easy to run BSC node, and then there is Polygon doing hard forks at 9 AM Sunday morning. So there are quite some problems. So yeah, we have overcame these problems in PARSIQ. I will just give like short technical overview. So for every blockchain we ran like from 1 to 5 nodes, depends on the blockchain, on how unstable it is, and then it's all located in different clusters, and we have built some software around it to make it 100% reliable. So if one node, if something happens to one node, we automatically switch to like gathering data from another node, and even if everything is broken, if all the nodes are down, this software that we built around, it knows exactly where it stopped. So meaning when any of nodes come back online, it will know at which block, which transaction it stopped importing, and it will be able to recover itself from that point. Basically, yeah. So scalability is just about having a team who can actually monitor and manage it. And for the projects, like for the projects building on blockchain, I don't think it's really viable to have a separate team that will in charge of infrastructure, especially if you're just starting. And I mean, you cannot afford a dedicated team for that. Then there is not the biggest problem, but data interpretation. So because like raw data, it looks like this. I mean, okay, we all know it's okay. It's a function call. All right. So, but you don't want to waste your time for that. So, like for us, we already have all the ERC standards like 20, 71, 1155, other standards. So all this information can be actually retrieved in human readable form without all these topics, everything. So you have a list, you have the event names, you have the variable names, parameters, all the values, everything decoded. And if you want to come up with your to monitor your own project or own protocol, you can just supply us with your API, and from there all the events decoded and delivered to you to your system. So there are some lessons that we learned along the way, along the building the technology, and I don't know, probably not many of you heard about us, but some heard. So we have our, the idea behind our platform was to facilitate every possible use case that it present on blockchain. And it was a good goal 2 years ago, but then the market expanded and changed so fast. So we gotta, learn some lessons. So, and one of them, so the tech we built, it works great. We have our own domain-specific language. It does the job, but people, other projects, they don't have time for that. So it works great for us, but for them, it's like time overhead. They don't want to spend time on that. That's the one. So which leads us to the second point. People just want to work from the comfort of their own infrastructure, own code base, own programming language. They don't want to learn something new. And especially it raises some problems, like when you upgrade your project, when you deploy new versions, then you have, on our side, you also have to, make the changes. And it can get tricky, especially if you're in the cloud and you scaling your project. So there are some problems. And then creation of an all-purpose solution in blockchain right now is just not possible because of how young market right now is and how fast it changes. And so with that, I just want to talk a little bit about what we have up our sleeve. So the general idea here, so it is our best belief that the blockchain data should be easy accessible because it is its purpose, but unfortunately transparency and openness doesn't mean ease of access. And with that in mind, we just want to introduce the core API, name pending. So it's a real-time and historical and real-time API at the same time that will allow you for your protocol
to collect data of whatever happened with your protocol starting from, let's say, today minus 1 million blocks. And after you catch up on the information from the past, in the same manner, you will just keep getting real-time events. So you don't have to change anything here. Just works out of box. And I should mention it's really fast. So we got to the point when 1 million of blocks is processed within like 1 minute. So it's quite fast comparing to what we have right now on the market. Then this API, it provides you with raw data and it gives you basic filtration. So you will be able to query the whole blockchain history by sender, receiver, so from two, contract it interacted with by the topics. And as I previously mentioned, we think that data should be accessible. So this API, it just will be free without any limitations on result set. So let's say the normal limitation right now with EtherScan is 5K entries, and you cannot get any more in this day. So you can come to us and just fetch everything related to your protocol easily. And so there are three main categories that I see for this API, is that protocols themselves that want to build, well, basically they want to build their data, they want to build their statistics, aggregations, everything, and they don't want to spend their time for infrastructure and all the pitfalls that along the way. Then there is, of course, developers that develop on these protocols. And then, of course, there is data scientists and data analysts. So people who do it, let's say, for fun. So, and there is continuation. So, as I mentioned, like some of the tools are that we have created are more convenient for us, and other projects don't have time to use for that. So with that in mind, we want to focus more ourselves on the protocols and help them build this data infrastructure for them while they're busy with their projects. We want to help them with all the data, with all the aggregations, with all the statistics. And because like there are as many use cases as there are projects in crypto, you cannot expect to make a unified solution. So for us, we have come to the point where we just want to specifically take specific projects and help them. And while we're doing so, while we gaining like new expertise for us, we do have a lot of expertise in data, in infrastructure, and everything. But we want to get into the new stuff. So we're going to build like a tool set, a framework that will help projects to work directly with their data. We will give possibility to store everything, like all the statistics aggregation, including historical data or any data this protocol needs inside our platform. It will be also accessible via APIs if these protocols want to expose it to their front ends, to their developers, to everyone. And when we're ready, when we have enough projects under our hood, we want to share this framework. We want to ship it to like open source, to developer communities, so people can actually build stuff on us without us. And even though this might be not as interesting, this is why we possibly in the future we will probably have a grant program, so just to attract more developers and more protocols inside our platform. And everything is possible only because all the tech that we have been developing for the last couple years. So it's a little bit of a twist, but then We just love what we did, and we want to build more stuff on it on our own. And I guess that's it. Thank you for your attention.
Great work. Thanks, Daniil.